Well, hey everybody, it is Romania Black, and you may be wondering, what is this video about? So, for the last over a year, I have been either watching the 1997 Berserk anime or I have been reading the manga. So, it's been a year since I started that series, and now as I'm recording this, I only have volume 42 left to go. That's why I still have my sanity. And then we'll be rounding out Berserk. So, to preface, I usually go on Patreon and put out either forms for requests for shows, especially if they've been long running shows like to replace, or I have a list of shows that have been recommended in the past or that have polled in the past that I draw from. You know, if I'm thinking that I want a certain genre or whatever. But Berserk was such a big series on this channel that it only felt reasonable to ask you all, the patrons, to recommend the shows to replace it. And y'all came out. There was over 60 patrons filled out forms, and there was like 100 recommendations, and I was like, oh my god. So but not 100, I would say, but we did have lots and lots of recommendations. A lot of them were duplicates, which has led to this video. So one of the questions that was asked in the form that I sent out to patrons was, do you want me to have just a poll for the replacement, or do you want to invoke the laws of causality to have the spinning wheel of fate choose for us? And it was pretty much neck and neck the entire time between whether we have the spinning wheel of fate or a poll to do it. And it didn't feel fair to choose one or the other. And we had so many nominations that there were too many to put on one poll. So I thought, you know what? Why don't we do both? So in this video, what we're going to be doing in this video is we're going to be narrowing down to the top 8 that are going to be featured on a poll on Patreon to determine the winner. Now, the top 8, whichever one you decide as patrons to vote for, that's your own prerogative. But we are going to leave the fate of the top 8 within the laws of causality and the spinning wheel of fate. So here's how I did it. Because I'm a teacher, I'm complicated. We got to make this as detailed and organized and outrageous as possible. I went through all of the choices that you all selected for me, both manga and anime, because there was some overlap. There were some series recommended that were both recommended for the manga and the anime, so I took that into consideration. Also, I didn't want to single out just anime or just manga because there were a lot of recommendations and a lot of people pushing for both. Out of curiosity, I put on there whether you'd prefer a manga or an anime to replace Berserk, and it was not quite half and half, but there were a lot more people support manga than I thought. So I was like, okay, we'll keep manga as an option. So you'll probably see some series scrolling right about now over here when I edit it. These were the series that were recommended but did not have enough duplicate votes to make it to the top 24. So these were all series that were recommended by patrons. They have been duly noted. I have kept a log of them. I'm going to be working this fall to reorganize my log and all the different polls. I'm going to go back through for 2025. Basically, Berserk is going to be the latest series replaced. Bloomin' to You will be replaced, but I already have a series in mind for that one, so we're good there. But Berserk will be probably the last series replaced in 2024. And then starting in 2025, like within January or February, half the channel is getting replaced. So it's going to be a mass turnover in 2025. The inauguration is going to kick in and all these new shows are coming out. So get ready. There's going to be a lot of polls probably in December and early January on Patreon. It's a Christmas gift for everyone. So with that being said, I'm going to revamp and go through all of the recommendations that I've received over the last year and reforge the polls that are going to be coming up in the coming year. So, but these were all the ones that were recommended by patrons that just didn't have enough duplicate votes to make it to the top 24. But we did have 24 that had a lot of votes. I think there was 23, and then there was one series that I wanted to put on the poll because I was like, I want to put it in, and it's been recommended before, so we're just going to put it in. But we had 24, and I was like, well, what we're going to do, hold on to your hats, here's how we're going to do it. With the spinning wheel of fate, I basically take the options, we spin, and then see where we go to from here. So we'll set this aside here, like right here, right now, as we go through it. So here's what I did. With the top 24, I'm going to put 6 twice on the spinning wheel of fate in random orders each time. We're going to spin the spinning wheel of fate, and the laws of causality are going to allow us whichever 2 options per spin round we get, they're going to go on the poll. So each round, we have 4 spinnings that we're going to do, 4 spin rounds. We may be here a while, so buckle in. This may take a while, but we're going to have 4 rounds with the spinning wheel of fate. Each round, there are 6 choices that have been listed twice on here. We're going to spin each round until 2 of those choices are chosen 3 times. It sounds complicated because it is, but this is Berserk, so complicated is the only way we can do it. And then we'll announce at the end the top 8 that will be on the poll on Patreon for patrons to choose. The good news is these 24 options were all chosen about the same amount of times. There's maybe 1 or 2 options that were maybe favored a little bit more, but overall, I think everyone pretty much chose these options on the same level. So whatever option we end up getting, it's a win. And I understand that if your pick of the top 24 doesn't make it, it's okay. Like I said, I'm going to be keeping tabs and reforging and powering ahead going into 2025. So just keep that in mind. So in round 1, the 6 choices, and these were all done basically, I thought the most fair way to do it was I took the 24 options and I arranged them in alphabetical order. And then I just went 1, 2, 3, 4 in each category. And then 1, 2, 3. I sorted them out as evenly through the process of alphabetizing so that there was no specific favoritism. It's just how the alphabet worked. So that seemed like the most fair way to do it. So in this first round, 91 Days, the anime, was selected. Another rule I had on here was I asked and requested that none of the series be more than 24 episodes. There is only one exception to that rule that's on here, but when we get to it, we'll talk about it. But the rest were all about 24 episodes and under. And I said, okay, cool. So 91 Days, the anime is on here. Claymore, I've heard of Claymore. The manga and anime was recommended, so that's nice. Holy Land. This is by Mori, who has taken over Berserk from Miura. This is their manga. I don't believe it has an anime adaptation, so it would be manga only. Then there is Oshi no Ko, which is a fairly new show, but it had a lot of recommendations, so we'll put that on there. Then there was Tanya, the Saga of Tanya the Evil. And I told my brother all of these options. And of this first category, Tanya the Evil was the one where he stopped and said, I don't think you're ready for that one. And I don't know what that means. So I said, well, if I can handle Berserk, I can handle anything. And he went, So I don't know what that means. Maybe it will get on the top 2 for this round. Maybe it won't. I don't know. But I'm also going to be positioning them in different ways. I kind of want to test a theory to see if the spinning wheel has a certain prejudice or if it is truly random. So this first round, I just put them all side by side to see if that made a difference. So, all right. So we're going to be basically doing this until we get one specific, until we get 2 for this round that have won 3 times. And then there'll be our 2 for this. So we're going to see how that goes, right? So I've got a piece of paper down here that I'm marking and keeping track of. This, I love the spinning wheel of fate. It's a lot of fun. And plus, I've had a lot of patrons say that in this context, it's left to chance. They're all series people like, but it's not necessarily a popularity contest yet. So let's dive in and see what we get. Tanya's got 1 vote. All right. Oh no. Ooh, okay, Claymore. Like I said, we're looking at the first 2 to get 3, so see where that goes. Ooh, Holy Land. Okay. I'm so excited because I feel like this is truly going to be like a bloodbath. Oshi no Ko. Oh my god. It's just the god hand is looking down upon us. Ooh. Claymore. Okay, Claymore has 2. All right, so we just got to get 1 more for Claymore to be one of the 8. Oh, Holy Land has 2 as well. The laws of causality, indeed. Ooh, that would be 91 days. All right. One for that one. Ooh. Oh, okay, 91 days. That's 2. Just needs one more. Oh. Okay, so Holy Land is one of our 8. That, you know what? Speaking of laws of causality, if we're going to talk about Mori in the manga, all right, Holy Land's one of them. Now we got to see which of the other ones. Ooh, okay, Tanya has 2 now as well. There's like 3. Who's going to be our last choice for this round? Oh, now we have the count of... Oh, I forgot about that one. Oh, so the Gong... There's so many options. Gonkutsu is the Count of Monte Cristo. That also had a lot of recommendations. It's, I think, 24 episodes, so it's on here. It was the last one. Hey! And there's Claymore. All right. So in round 1, the 2 that are going to be making the poll are going to be Claymore and Holy Land. Okay. Well, I feel like that's justified because Claymore had a lot of recommendations and Holy Land is by Mori, so laws of causality indeed. All right, I'm going to clean this off and then we're going to come back and talk about round 2. All right, so I'm actually excited about Holy Land and Claymore winning that round because they had been highly recommended and I was going to be a little bit sad if Claymore didn't get on there because it had a lot of recommendations, but we'll see how Patreon votes when it's time for the poll. So this is round 2 of the Spinning Wheel of Fate. In this round, here are the next in order of alphabetizing. Girls Last Tour is a manga as well as an anime. It's fairly short, so it was recommended, so we'll go with that. Parasite was recommended as a replacement, and it's been on the polls before, so I am pretty excited about that one. Kingdom is also just a manga, so that one, I kept getting Kingdom and Holy Land confused because it's just one-word titles, but that one was on here as well. Then Dan to Dan, I have seen Netflix. I've been avoiding it and like closing my eyes and getting away from Netflix because I've seen them try to advertise it. It was recommended as well. This is the one that I put on here because I'm genuinely intrigued by it, and so when it was recommended, I'm like, okay, I'll put it on there. But that one didn't have as many nominations, but I'm like, we'll just see what happens. Okay, Tokyo Ghoul has been recommended a lot in this one, so I'm kind of rooting for it this round. Fingers crossed, we'll see. I have been told I want to know nothing else. Please don't spoil me. Don't tell me reasons. Don't tell me why. But the only thing I know is that a lot of people recommend the manga over the anime. That's probably what we'll do. We'll probably do the manga over the anime, but if it does manage to get onto this poll, and if it does win the poll, then I would probably ask Patreon to vote whether they'd want me to do the manga first or the anime first. I would probably watch the anime first and then just go back and read the manga like I did with Berserk, but we'll cross that bridge. It's got to make it to the poll before we even think about that, right? Then A Place Further Than the Universe was recommended several times, so it is on here. That one's on here, and I think that is it. So, all right. So we'll go back to the beginning here, and we're going to see which of these 6 choices makes it to the top 2. Ooh. Okay, Girls Last Tour is one. Ooh. A Place Further Than the Universe has one. Good try. Ooh, Kingdom has one. Usually when they just get one, I don't get too nervous yet. Ooh, it's when they get 2 in a row. Okay, wow, Kingdom has 2 already. Okay. Ooh, Parasite. Okay, Parasite's on there. Tokyo Ghoul, there we go. It's just like a waiting game now. Ooh, Parasite again. Okay. All right. All right. Oh, is that Tokyo Ghoul? Yes. Okay. All right. Ooh, we got some really close ones. Sorry, Dan. I know everybody that's like there's a lot of people on Patreon that's like, oh, you put Dan to Dan on there just because it's new. It's going to win the poll. Might not make it. Oh, hi, Parasite. All right. I'm actually excited by that. I have been wanting to see Parasite for a while. Cool. Nice. Parasite's going to be one of them. Oh, and Kingdom. Oh, okay. The laws of causality told me that I'm not ready for Tokyo Ghoul. Well, we'll just keep Tokyo Ghoul in mind. We'll keep Tokyo Ghoul in mind for future polls. I was really excited about that one in Dan to Dan, and a place further in the universe. We will definitely keep a lot of these in mind for the future polls, so do not worry. Like I said, we have a lot of polls coming up in 2025. We'll keep those in mind. I am excited, though, because so far we have, like, Parasite and Claymore have anime options, and then Holy Land and Kingdom are manga options, so that's exciting, too, right? All right, let me get this ready, and we'll do round 3. When I tell you all that this top 24 was stacked, it was stacked. So this has been the round that I'm probably the most nervous about because I did this all in alphabetical order. So as this round was shaping up, there's like, I want to see all 6 of these. So I was like, no, we only picked 2 of the top of the 6. No, but here's the deal. That's just the way it works. So it's just, there's so many good anime, so little time. So the first series is Land of the Lustrous. Now this one got recommended a lot, both for the manga and the anime is fairly short. So it was recommended a lot like Claymore was. So we'll see what happens. Vagabond has been recommended since I read Slam Dunk back in 2021. Like, people have been wanting me to read Vagabond. My only hesitation with it is someone kind of spoiled on the Berserk channel on the Discord that Vagabond's not complete yet. And I'm like, I don't like the idea of a not complete series, but if it wins, it wins. But I have had a lot of people recommend it for years, so I am kind of intrigued by it. But I know Inoue, I'm still waiting on him to finish Real, so we'll see. This one is new, but I just looked at the cover art for it and like the main cover of Manga Volume 1, and I am so intrigued. I want to keep this on the polls. It's called Ram Kamanohashi's Forbidden Deductions, or like Delusional Detective or something. I was like, oh, so if this doesn't make the top 8 or win the poll, if we do like a crime thriller poll in 2025, I want to include it on it because it looks super neat and it looks fun and I really want to see it. So I thought that one was really neat. Okay. When I told you all that I requested that in the form the series for the replacement be under 24 episodes, this was the exception. and normally when people don't listen to the rules, as a teacher, I'm like, well, then you don't get any points, and I throw it out. And so I really hesitated to even put Golden Kamui on here, but it had a lot of recommendations. A lot. To the point where I was like, even though y'all didn't follow the rules or read, even though you didn't practice proper literacy, I'll include it on this spinning wheel of fate, and if it's good enough to break the laws of causality and get on this poll, then so be it. But that was the exception. Then there was Bacano. Bacano has been on the polls many times before. I'm super intrigued by it. I would like it to stay on the polls. We're going to see if it makes it. And then the final one is Dororo. Dororo. And it's like a 24 episode anime. So I'm like, cool. Awesome. It's been on the polls in the past as well. So this round in particular, I like all of these options. And so I don't feel like any of them are going to make me feel sad. But now I'm like, I want all of them to win. But that's not how it works. So anyway, let's see what we get. Dororo gets 1. Ooh. Land of the Lustrous gets 1. Ooh. Or Land of the Lustrous gets 2 right off the bat. Holy cow. Okay. Oh. And Dororo, we might not even have a contest. Oh, there's your Golden Kamui. And then, as I'm saying, there's not going to be a contest. Golden Kamui and its Bearman or whatever it's gotten, and it goes no. Ooh, Bacano. There we go. All right, maybe it's fair game. Maybe it's fair game. Oh, and there's Vagabond. Okay, or Vagabond. All right, all right, all right. We're getting somewhere. Hey, Land of the Lustrous is going to be one of the 8. All right, good. That one had a lot of recommendations, so I'm really glad that it won as well. It has an anime and a manga. Good. Awesome. That makes up a little bit for Tokyo Ghoul because they had about the same amount of votes, so all right. Oh, Bacano with 2. Okay. All right, Bacano. And oh, Vagabond with 2. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. This might be it. Oh, nope, we already had Land of the Lustrous. Oh, Doro! Yeah, there we go. All right, good. Dororo. Yep, got that one. Oh, this poll is going to be crazy. This poll's gonna be crazy, y'all. All right, so that's exciting. Well, do not fear, Golden Kamui fans. Do not fear. We will have polls in the future, and I will include that show on there, so do not worry. We'll come back to it, but all right. I'm excited about those 2 series. They had a lot of votes, and a lot of people wanted me to see them, so awesome. Well, we got one more round. So let me clean off the spinning wheel of fate, and we'll... All right, so now we have the final round. These are the last of the 24 that made the top for it. The first one I have on here, we'll just go through this. I put these all in random order. It is good to notice, I don't think there's a certain particular color that's been favored more than others, so that's good, I guess. The first one I have is Bochi the Rock, whatever. It was recommended a lot. It's not very long. We're going to put it on here, so that's exciting. Then my brother, this is the one my brother wants to win, and that's Fate Zero. It's been on the polls before. It's been recommended. He was really excited about it, so we'll see if that goes on here. Then we have a Goodnight Pun Pun, which has been recommended before, and a lot of people, it's a manga, so a lot of people want me to read it, and we'll see if it makes the top or not. Then we had my brother, this was the other one when I said Maiden Abyss were on there. He was like, you're not ready for that. And I was like, I've handled Berserk. I think I'll be fine. And he went, and he did like the most dramatic eyebrow raise of all time. And I went, So we'll just see. But Maiden Abyss was recommended quite a bit. As was Rose of Versailles. Rose of Versailles is a big influence for Berserk. So kind of like Holy Land. People were like, well, you need to read the influence. I know that Mappa's coming out with a movie in January about Rose of Versailles. You know, redoing an old IP instead of an IP that made them famous and got them lots of money, but we're not talking about Yuri on Ice. It's fine. It's fine. We're not gonna mention Yuri on Ice. It's fine. But Mappa, okay. I would definitely be reading the manga probably for this one. I know there's an older anime. Again, much like Tokyo Ghoul, I would probably have to consult Patreon for the final verdict there, but it's on here as well. Then there is, it is called Yatagarasu. The Raven Does Not Choose Its Master, and it's fairly recent, I think. So it's the newer one that's on here. But yep, this is rounding out our top 24. We're gonna see. As soon as I pick these last 2, I do want to say a couple things about Berserk before we review the top 8 that's going to be on the poll, and I'll give you all the details on that. So let's see what we get. Ooh, Bochi the Rock as 1. Oh, Bochi the Rock has 2. Okay. People are like, no. Ooh. Made in Abyss has 1. Ooh, and Fate Zero has 1. That one is Goodnight Pun Pun. Yes. All right. So far, we're pretty spread out. Oh no, Goodnight Poon Poon. As soon as I was like thinking in my head, I'm like, as soon as I say we're spread out, Goodnight Poon Poon is gonna get like another one. Ooh, Rose of Versailles. All right, nice. No love for Yatagarasu. Oh, Boki the Rock. All right, so Bochi's one of them. Yeah. All right, Bochi the Rock. Get in it. All right. And now we just need one more. Ooh, Maiden Abyss has 2 now. Okay. Okay. Oh no, Fate Zero has 2 as well. This could be the last spin, y'all. Fate Zero! Okay! My brother will be so happy. He used the power of Conrad, Ubik, Slan, and Void to summon and get Fate Zero on there. All right. Well, like I said, I definitely, especially with Goodnight Poon Poon, I'm going to be honest with y'all, it is a manga that I really have wanted to read. So I have a lot planned for the rest of 2024. So I have a lot planned that I've not talked about yet, except we'll have the update videos and all of that. So I still have a lot planned for the channel for this fall, but do not be surprised if come, January, February, after I get done with Janu Yowie, if we get some Goodnight Poon Poon. We might be getting that, by then, because I really want to read it, but I didn't want to start another manga-only series until I was caught up with some of these other ones. So, or whenever I'm done with Trigun Maximum, we might be getting into Goodnight Poon Poon. So just keep that in the back of your head. That series is definitely one I would love to get into. I don't think it's too crazy long either, so we'll just put a pin in that for now. So before I talk about the final 8, I do want to go ahead and say a huge thank you to all of you who put these nominations together, who filled out the form. That was super awesome and super helpful, because there's so much anime and manga out there. It is nigh impossible for me to just narrow it down, even to 24. I was like, there's just too much. So you all were tremendous. And there's a lot on this poll and that were recommended that I'd never heard of before. So definitely getting getting some transparency and some visualization of some series out there that otherwise I would not experience. So as far as Berserk goes, if you've watched my reactions, it's been a crazy ride. There are 2 specific video essays I want to do that involve Berserk. One is just about Berserk and my experience with it in general. That one is probably not going to come out anytime soon. It's going to be a lot of work. I currently have a survey that's out on my Twitter feed, as well as that's on some of the videos, and it'll probably be linked in Volume 42's reaction as well, and maybe in the guidebook reaction, so you can go check it out there and fill it out. It's going to be a big labor of love, so that one will probably not come out until next year. The other video that I want to do involving Berserk is I have wanted to make a 4 Horsemen of the Done Nothing Wrong Apocalypse video for a while now, and now that I've caught up with Berserk, I will be able to do that. So that one will probably end up coming out before the other one, but it will probably not be until next year, because it's probably going to take me the rest of the year to process Volume 41 and 42. So, but I am going to be continuing to react to volumes of Berserk as they are completed. So as they are available online and completed, I will keep reacting to them. It's going to be an ongoing series. And as I'm doing my research for the video essay, I will probably perhaps be watching other forms of Berserk content. And so there may be reactions come out next year on those sporadically throughout the year. So if you're a patron, just keep your eyes out, and they'll be on there probably as extras. So if you just join for $1 onto the Patreon, you can get in Discord and talk about Berserk. You can vote in the polls, and you can see those extras as they come out. So we'll just wait and see. And I'll obviously update the community post on YouTube if anything like that happens. So our top 8 that are going to be in the poll starting later this week. If you are a patron, you will probably see this poll start later this week. If you're on YouTube, you can join for $1 and vote in the poll as well. You'll also get access for the month to the Discord, and we have a miscellaneous channel where you can talk about the options in the Discord server. I'm in the Discord a lot, so people spoiler tag so that I can't read things. But there is a channel called Miscellaneous that I never enter. It's like no man's land. Y'all can talk about your crazy stuff there, you know, as long as it's a safe space for people. But if you want to talk about some of these options as series and what you're voting for, go to the Miscellaneous channel and you can talk about it there with everybody else. But so the poll that'll come out this week later on will have these options: the manga Holy Land, Claymore, Parasite, Kingdom the manga, Land of the Lustrous, Dororo, Bocchi the Rock, and Fate Zero. I'm super excited. I think all of those are great choices. There are 2 on here that I never, Kingdom and Holy Land, I hadn't heard of before this poll, and I never even thought of Claymore, even though I had heard of it in passing. So these are new options. The Spinning Wheel of Fate, Causality has chosen these as the replacement options for Berserk. So I'm excited to see what we end up with. But anyway, the polling usually is for a week. And then that way that gives me time to go ahead and start on the series and start recording. So I'm super excited. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed watching me spin the Wheel of Fate to see what our options are. And I hope you all have a wonderful week. Please stay safe, take care, and yeah, I'll be back very soon with more reactions.